Yo, what up, though, y'all? Welcome back. We have now come to episode 7 of Who the Fuck Decided to Incarcerate Bolanos. This is going to be another one that's going to have a lot of subsections because this episode is going to be the infamous Jeffrey Herbstman. So we are going to have many subsections underneath Jeffrey Herbstman because there is so much to uncover with this guy. So let's just start off by giving you guys a little brief background and kind of give you guys a little trailer of our future of where we're going here. So, first of all, who is Jeffrey Herbstman? Jeffrey Herbstman was Samantha Woll's ex boyfriend. He is the individual who, when this trial happened and his testimony came out, it took fire in the media because Jeffrey Herbstman, which we as the defense knew prior to trial, but the general public did not know, had actually admitted to murdering Samantha Woll. And he then recanted his admission to her murder and was granted immunity on the stand to testify against Bolanos at trial. Absolutely unprecedented, crazy that this happened, but this in fact happened. So again, we as the defense knew that this guy had already admitted to this murder. We prepared, obviously, for him to take the stand and to cross-examine him. But you can imagine that during the course of this entire case, up until it was going to trial, and even once the trial began, we were completely flabbergasted how the prosecution ended up with Michael Jackson Bolanos being the suspect that they were charging with Samantha Woll's murder, when in fact Jeffrey Herbstman was here admitting to having murdered her. So, we will go down again so much different testimony about him. We will go through his alibi and or lack thereof that night because he was at home by himself, according to him. We will go through what happened on November 7th when he drives to Kalamazoo and then calls 911 and makes his confession to the police. We will go through when he was brought in immediately from that phone call that he made. They take him into a police station and they very gently and nicely question him. We will go through that, and we will go through several different things that occurred there and key points to look out for and questions that you should as well be thinking about when listening to everything with Jeffrey Herbstman. We will go to some points in closing argument that appear to be Jeffrey Herbstman running away from the scene of Samantha Woll's home at approximately 1:24 a.m. And again, if you guys remember James Griffune, the neighbor who was outside and heard screams during that time, it's interesting that there's a guy that looks just like Jeff Herbstman running away from the scene during that same time that James Griffune says that he heard screams. So these will be separate subsections that we will go down. I will take you guys down this rabbit hole that we are going to call Jeffrey Herbstman. We're calling that because that's his name. I mean, just whatever. But there will be so many things for us to cover. So I just want to give you guys the heads up. Episode 7, the infamous Jeffrey Herbstman. And we have so many subsections of this episode that we will be doing a super duper deep dive into this. So please stay tuned. For those of you that did not follow the trial and had no idea that this occurred, this is quite frankly going to be probably the most interesting portion of this entire series that you're going to hear. Myself as a defense attorney, I found it absolutely bizarre, and I found it very interesting in a super sad way. In a super sad way for Bolanos, I was crushed that he was faced with an individual who actually admitted to the murder, then taking the stand and testifying against him, and that person was given immunity for their testimony. And all the while, Jeffrey Herbstman's hand has been held and he's been very gently taken through this entire process of admitting to a murder, which, you know, I would like to just put out there on record that as a person of color, there is absolutely no way that we get that kind of leniency. I've never known an individual who is a person of color who can admit to a murder, recant a murder, and that even be acceptable, let alone get immunity at trial to discuss the fact that they admitted to a murder and then recanted it. So this is not something that people of color get the benefit of being able to do. I have never seen this. As a practicing attorney, I have seen super crazy things happen in court frequently. This by far takes the cake. I have never seen something like this happen before. I'm quite sure that for the rest of the years that I practice, I will never see something like this happen again. This is unprecedented in my books and in the books of pretty much anyone else that I know. And I know a lot of attorneys. I've spoken to numerous people about this, and this is just something that is absolutely left field type shit. So that is where we are going to go. Episode 7 is going to begin. Let me get to work and start putting these episodes together for you guys. I just want to give you guys this brief introduction to Jeffrey Herbstman. This is where we're going. So stay tuned, y'all. Bye.